The royal dynasty of Tamluk is an age-old independent, ancient and enriched dynasty of India. The rich heritage of the dynasty always attracts archaeologists, historians, geographers and numerous enthusiasts. 3000 to 3500 years before present time, King Mayuradhaj established the Mayura dynasty or the Peacock dynasty. According to various information and researches received from the historians, mythology experts, foreign travelogues, Buddhist mendicants and the records of the Tamluk royal family, it is established that in ancient era, King Mayuradhaj established his kingdom a few kilometers away from the bank of the river Rupnarayan. The existence of the dynasty is still present. The 64th descendant of King Mayuradhaj, Dr. Dipendra Narayan Roy, and his wife, Mrs. Nandini Roy, are fulfilling the king's duty. According to historical researches, 11,000 to 12,000 years ago, this area had human existence. Some researches of geographical studies claim that 12,000 years ago, there were a mingling of terrestrial and marine ecosystem in this area. A number of remnants were found during the excavation made by the researchers of the Archaeological Survey of India, which are preserved in the museum. At that time, people of this area depended on hunting and fishing. Gradually, they learned to grow crops and began to live here permanently. So, it can be said that the ancient township of Tamluk is nearly 12,000 years old. Mayuradhaj was the king of this ancient township of Tamluk. A symbol of peacock on the copper flag was emblemed of the Peacock dynasty. Till date, the emblem is being used by the descendants of the dynasty. Presently, they have a logo bearing the same symbol. According to the researches of the mythological experts, it is known that King Mayuradhaj was present at the Sayamvara contest of Draupadi of Mahabharata era as a contestant. He also had taken part in the Great War of Kurukshetra. In the Great War, King Mayuradhaj took part to the Kaurava side with a large infantry and cavalry. King Tamluk was valiant son of King Mayuradhaj. He captivated the ritual horse of the Pandavas and tied it to the Arjuna butt, a large banyan tree with a rope. News went to Lord Krishna and the third Pandava, Arjuna. They came over there but was defeated by Tamluk. Later on, Lord Krishna reached the royal court of the Mayuradhaj and was pleased to see the greatness of the king. A part of that mythological banyan tree is still there, few meters away of the palace. The prestige and prosperity of Tamluk royal dynasty is historically well known. And the main source of this prosperity was the Tamluk port. This ancient port was developed on the bank of the river Rupnarayan. This port was only gateway of eastern India to connect with the Indian Ocean. Tamluk dynasty had their own copper mine on the bank of Subarnarekha river at the hill of Kelandihi in Jharkhand state. They exported copper from this mine and various copper products to the outer world through this port. Gradually, this place became the most important business hub of eastern India 300 years before Christian era to 800 Christian era. At that time, Tamluk was in Kalinga state. Since Asoka ascended the throne of the Mayura Empire, he had a strong desire to gain control over Tamluk because of its business importance. So he decided to invade Kalinga. The historic Kalinga War lasted for 8 long years. Although Ashoka had won the war, the severe aftermath of the war had changed the mind of Emperor Ashoka. He felt a strong inclination towards the Dharma. He became a true devotee of Buddhism. Emperor Ashoka's daughter Sanghamitra and his son Mahendra had visited on behalf of his father to Southeast Asian countries by boarding a ship from this port and carrying seedlings of the tree Bodhuvriksha, the people tree under which Siddhartha became Lord Buddha after attaining salvation. This journey has been well described in Buddhist scriptures as well as in authentic Ceylonese literature. The journey from Pataliputra to Tamralipta took 7 days, and Tamralipta to Ceylon took another 1 week. Emperor Ashoka himself once came to Tamralipta to bid adieu to some ambassadors who came from Ceylon to Pataliputra. During the Gupta age, Tamralipta was the main emporium, serving as a point of departure for trade with Ceylon, Java and China as well as the West. It was linked by roads with the major cities of ancient India of the time, that is Rajgriha, Sabasti, Patliputra, Varanasi, Champa, Kausambi and Takshila. Chinese Buddhist monk and translator Fahian stayed in India for 14 years during the time of Gupta Emperor Chandragupta II. At that time, he spent 2 long years in Tamralipta and copied several Buddhist scripts and drew the figures of Buddhist deities. According to him, 14 Buddhist monks used to reside in 14 monasteries near this port. This proves that Tamralipta was not only a business hub and shipbuilding center, it was also a great educational center of ancient India. The semi-legendary Buddhist monk Bodhisena went to China through Tamralipta port in between 3rd and 4th century before Christian era. He is traditionally credited as the transmitter of Zen Buddhism to China and is regarded as its first Chinese patriarch. Bodhisena, the South Indian monk, also visited Japan thereafter. His stay has been noted in the official historical records called the Shoku Nihongi. Reference of Tamralipta is also found in the writings of Huan-Sung. According to him, people of Tamralipta was generous, religious, industrious and valiant. Another traveler of Huan-Sung denotes that in 635 Christian era, the port of Tamralipta has been washed away in sea, but the actual type and cause of the natural calamity was not clearly written in the traveler. If the natural calamity did not devastate the port, Tamralipta would have been the most flourishing industrial hub of India. However, the port Tamralipta might lose its importance, but the royal dynasty was still flying its flag of glory. Later on, Tamralipta was an independent estate under the Mughal Empire. Since the arrival of the British Company, Tamralipta royal dynasty always remained against the British. During the British rule, Tamralipta always tried to sustain themselves as an independent estate. The British tried a number of times to get hold of the estate, but in vain. When Krishnapriya once stood against the British oppression, she fought against the British army riding on horse with her kingly sword. However, the British, by deception, took over most of the properties of the Tamralipta royal dynasty, applying the sunset law. When the freedom struggle was strengthened all over India, Bengal, especially Tamralipta, was the important center of the freedom fighters. The 62nd descendant of the Tamralipta royal dynasty, King Surendra Narayan Roy, was an active supporter of the freedom movement. His son, Dhirendra Narayan Roy, was a hard supporter of Mahatma Gandhi. He led the Great Salt March to Narghat in 1930. National activists like Sushil Kumar Dhara, Ajay Mukherjee, Satish Chandra Samant had a strong connection with the royal estate of Tamralipta. They often took shelter in the palace to abscond from the British. In April 1930, Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose came to Tamralipta to sit with the freedom fighters of the area for a future plan. But because of the fear of the British torture, no one was agreed to offer a place for the meeting. At that time, King Surendra Narayan Roy arranged the meeting at the mango garden of the royal family, which is known as Khusrang Ground. It was on 11 April. 85 years ago, in 1938, that our great national hero, Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, put his foot on this holy land of Tamralipta Palace. The 63rd king of the royal dynasty was Colonel Dhirendra Narayan Roy. He was a doctor of the Indian Army. He had a strong connection with the royal family of England. He had highlighted in his writings that some records of the ancestry of the royal dynasty of Tamralipta are kept by the British government. Government of India has also recognized the importance of the Tamralipta royal dynasty and the heritage site of the present palace. The India Post has published 2 postage stamps on King Surendra Narayan Roy and his son Colonel Dhirendra Narayan Roy, and 1 envelope encrypting the picture of the palace. UNESCO has also admitted the importance of the heritage site. The Tamralipta Peacock dynasty has been arranging different cultural festivals and popular village fair from 6th century. UNESCO Cultural Festival of West Bengal, Durga Puja, was the most popular and gorgeous family festival of the royal family, which was started 1400 years ago at Rajpalace ground. The main procession was performed by the queens, and the royal queen took the solemn vow of Devi Durga. The king was the chief guest of this festival. It was a sign of women empowerment at that time. A group of researchers claim that the Durgotsav of the royal family lasted for 5 days. On the last day of the festival, they distributed sweetmeats among the subjects of the kingdom. At present, the Heritage Festival Durga Puja has been organizing by royal family for local inhabitants at the Raj Palace ground. Tamralipta Janashastro Krishi o Kutishilpo Mela is one of the popular local fairs which was started in 1050 Christian era. The 35th king of Peacock dynasty, King Lakshminarayan Roy, started the fair at the ground in front of the Tamralipta Raj Palace. At present, this heritage fair has been running with all colors and pomps with the patronization of present descendant of the royal family, Dr. Dipendra Narayan Roy, every winter. The present king of the Peacock dynasty, the 64th descendant, is Dr. Dipendra Narayan Roy. Although the kingdom is no more, Dr. Roy is still performing his kingly duties to serve people, as he is the municipal chairman of the Tamralipta municipality. His wife, Nandini Devi, is also a queen in the true sense of the term. She is a renowned social worker who is untiredly working for the downtrodden of the society. The present palace of Tamralipta is on 33 acres of fertile land, which is encircled with a paleotidal water channel. An adjoining water body of 13 acres is also there, naming Khatdighi. It has a connection channel with Rupnarayan river. It proves that in ancient times, barges used to travel from the palace to the Bay of Bengal through Rupnarayan. The place is also a rich habitat of a large number of flora and fauna. It is a rich biodiversity heritage that we all should come forward to conserve. In the last April 10th and 11th, 2023, in the presence of UNESCO members, Gwangju, South Korea, and members of SAARC countries visited Peacock Rajpalace and joined in the international conference in the occasion of completion of 85th years of great leader Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose's arrival at Tamluk Rajpalace Khusran ground, which was organized by Raja Dr. Dipendra Narayan Roy. Besides, representatives from USA, Italy, Japan, Nepal, Bangladesh, Taiwan, and different states of the country were present, and spiritual leaders, academicians, Honorable Minister in charge of Government of West Bengal, MLAs, Chairman of different municipalities, Honorable Vice Chancellor of our prestigious universities, historians, geographers, researchers, scientists, and students joined the conference. In parallel, a special cover was released from the Postal Department of India, and a documentary film on Peacock Dynasty was shown at conference hall.